Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prost Vice Presidential Debate Clown Car Trainwreck Analysis with your host, Graham Elwood. Bum, 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 bum. Election 2020 graphics come in. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness gravy gracious, folks. Welcome. My name is Graham Elwood. You are watching and listening to the Political Vigilante post vice presidential debate on October 7th, 2020. Welcome everybody in the chat. Hazmat, Michael, Backyard, Puppet Show, Truth to Tweet, Sharif, what's up? Oh my goodness. That was exciting, right? Right. I couldn't watch. I just waited for this. Oh, folks, hit the like button. Share this out on your social media. Ron Placone will be joining us in a little bit. I think he's finishing up. He had a show himself. We are also simulcasting live on rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Bum. Oh, where do we begin, folks? Where do we begin? Oh. Well, Pamela Anderson calls for President Trump to pardon Julian Assange. I'm down with that. Fiorella Isabella said Kamala Harris just pushed a conspiracy theory on national TV and lied, saying the intelligence agencies proved ties with Russia. This is fake. When the CIA just literally declassified documents proving it was all made up. Unbelievable. So true. I just did a story on this. I just did this story. I'm going to bring this up. It's just maddening. Oh, yeah. Great way to support the show is do what Christopher Walker has just done. He's hit the dollar icon button on YouTube and supports the show. Kamala made it clear she loves cops and fracking. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's just, it's nuts. Pamela Anderson visited Julian Assange in London, if I'm not wrong. Oh, wow. Good. Wow, that's cool. This is just, Did I see the Trump video from Facebook? Is that the one with him next to Hitler? I did that yesterday. It was so, oh boy. Yeah, Pam Anderson just got way cooler. Oh, you got that right. Man. A proven solution to make politics less negative and toxic is ranked choice voting. Research shows campaigns and ranked choice voting elections are less about personal attacks and more focused on finding common ground on real issues. Yep. It's a great topic. Oh, Michael Moore. Yeah, that debate was I can't even, it's just once again, it's Kamala saying we're not going to ban fracking. That's the big argument, whether or not they're going to ban fracking. And it's I couldn't even deal with listening to that. It was so. Graham, what do you think about fracking causing earthquakes? It absolutely does. I've done videos on it. They've showed there's a map.
Let me see if I can bring it up. Hey, sorry about that. It just sort of died on me. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Ron just showed up. We'll bring him on in a second. Sorry, my computer just kind of died real quick, but I was going to look for this fracking. Yeah, we got that there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 128 watching, 61 likes. Please hit the like button. Support the show. What's up, Norwell Tacos? I'm good. Kate is here. Your computer died like our democracy did. Oh, man. Yes. All right. Let's bring Ron Placona on the program. From the Get Your News On with Ron show, also a panelist on the Jimmy Dore show, and one half of the formerly Progressive Comedy Tour, now the Socialist Tour that probably will start back in 2021. Ron Placone.
What's up, Graham? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. We are joined by Ron Placone after just an exciting VP debate.
Wow. Well, you know, I got to go on the record right now. I taught public speaking in a different life. So there's always, whenever there's these debates, I have the one element where I will just kind of objectively make debate predictions, just speaking strictly objectively. And I did objectively say, I think Kamala Harris is going to beat him pretty handily. And it turns out that was giving too much credit. That was, I mean, just speaking debate standpoint, that was a pathetic performance. And people should realize Mike Pence is not a good debater. He's far from it. He has just had incredibly weak opponents. I mean, he has had Tim Kaine, who is arguably the most pathetic candidate in all of U.S. politics, which is saying a lot. I mean, that's the bottom of the crud of the barrel. and Kamala Harris, who I don't think is quite as bad as Tim Kaine, but really, wow, that was sad. I mean, that was just sad.
Mike Pence is like this, such an easily beatable dude.
Yeah, like he's,
You know what I mean?
he's an authoritarian theocrat. How can you not out debate that guy?
It's so easy, and yet at some moments she kind of did, but really she was banking that he was going to keep interrupting her and that she could say, and he talked over his time a lot. But you know, she was like, "Can I respond?" And he goes, "Okay, respond." She goes, "Can I respond?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like she was hoping for more of him talking over her so she could say, I mean, he is a weirdo, sexist creep for sure. But like, again, I guess by comparison to that train wreck of a week ago, we actually had some policy discussion and debate.
I think some's being generous. I mean, if by some you mean slightly more than none, okay, sure. We had slightly more than none. And what policy talk was it? Fracking Stope. We think fracking Stope too. He kept mentioning the Green New Deal like in the pejorative, you know, like saying it like the Green New Deal is a bad thing. And Kamala Harris didn't refute it at all. She just went along with it. I mean, one of the first rules in debate you're taught is you don't let the opponent define the terms. He defined the terms and she said, gotcha. He said, Green New Deal bad, fracking good, Reaganomics good, Mitt Romney's healthcare plan a disaster, but you're going to defend it. She went right there with him. It was, I mean, it was, wow. Yeah. I mean, I have incredibly low expectations. And even I was like, really? Wow.
Well, this is this is the problem when you're trying to defeat a conservative with centrism. Then you're stuck there going, no, I'm against, I'm not going to ban fracking. Like then you have to just, so what you're just supporting his policy. So then there's nothing. And this is the problem where like the hard left, like if you were like, no, I'm absolutely for banning fracking because it increases earthquakes. I'm going to bring up I've done videos on this in the past, but this is like Oklahoma has had a surge of earthquakes since 2009. Are they due to fracking?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely. This is this bar graph here. Look at this. This is California and Oklahoma. Oklahoma is in the red. California has been having earthquakes for a long time because it sits on a fault line. Oklahoma doesn't sit on fault lines, and yet it's had a spike in earthquakes since it started fracking. I've done video after video showing contaminated water in Texas, in Colorado. That's what Kamala Harris should be saying. That's what her argument should be, is fracking is absolutely bad. We need a Green New Deal. Instead, it's you let him say, oh, the Paris Accord, none of these things where it's bad for regulation, this like Republican talking point from 30 years ago, you let him get it in there. You go
along with it. You don't refute it.
Yes,
you say, no, I'm cool with all that too. And then the other big moment where she just, it's like anyone could have refuted that better, was when he kept hammering, like basically he took over the debate, just ignored the moderator. He was like, hey, I don't listen to someone telling me my time's up if it's a woman unless it's mother. I'm not going to listen to you, moderator person. And like he just grabbed hold of the debate and was asking her the question. And when he was trying to hammer her on the Supreme Court thing, and she just folded, it looked incredibly weak because it was. God. What she could have done, she could have put it back on him and been like, you know what? Let's talk the Supreme Court. Let's talk about how George W. Bush, the court handed him that election in 2000. So he was an illegitimate candidate the whole time. And there were discrepancies in 2004 as well. He appointed 2 people. Donald Trump lost the popular vote in 2016. He's on his way to appointing 3 people. So that's more than half, just about, if you count, the one coming up, which they're probably going to be able to ram that through. That's more than half, because it's an odd number, that are illegitimate appointees. So it is time, Mike Pence, when the Supreme Court does not resemble public opinion at all, It is time to make the Supreme Court not a political football in our politics and make it actually what it's supposed to be, which is uphold the freaking law. And B, it's time to end lifetime appointments. And it's time for, if we are going to have a politically aimed Supreme Court, it should actually reflect the will of the freaking people. Because less than half of it, at best, does now, between George W. and Donald Trump. And then Obama was robbed a pick that was rightfully his. If she had any spine, or just common sense, that would have been her rebuttal. I just came off of that off the top of my head. I stream a show from my living room and talk to a fucking black cat. I came up with that off the top of my head. She's the vice president nominee.
She acted like she was caught off guard. I'm like, did you honestly think there wasn't going to be a Supreme Court question tonight? You know, she just kind of quoted this thing from Abraham Lincoln. Oh man, like
she was smoking too much of Tupac's pot, man. Pot. She wasn't ready.
Well, the other thing, back to the fracking, which was so embarrassing, and we both commented on this, but like AOC tweets, fracking is bad, actually. And I wrote, your party is for it. And you were like, yeah, why don't you do something about it rather than tweet?
I said, tell your pathetic colleagues. Don't tell Twitter. We know. We know. We don't need the Ministry of Appeasement anymore. That's why I don't follow any politicians on Twitter. But I'm not gonna give it a like or valid. I'm gonna say, hey, tell your colleagues. Your freaking colleagues need to hear this.
There, I just unfollowed her.
You just unfollowed her. That'll show up. I'm not following any of them either. They know.
She just lost one follower. She's only got 7 million, 7.5 million left or whatever.
Oh, she'll feel it.
Oh,
she got the notification right now.
That's the progressive resistance within this corrupt Democratic Party is, man, they're good tweeters. Bernie's really good tweets after he just buckled. Imagine if Bernie was on that stage and we are not this stage, but like if he had picked a real VP candidate. Imagine if that was Nina Turner.
Imagine
what that would look like.
Yeah, she would have shredded him.
She would have cut him apart.
He would have been like, well, the Green New Deal. And instead of cowering and being like, I don't want to say I'm for a Green New Deal, she would have said, you're damn right I'm for a Green New Deal. Yeah. You're not. You don't want your children and grandchildren to have a freaking planet? What, you think we can pray our way out of this, you psycho? That's what she would have done.
Yeah,
she would have been more diplomatic, but
it's the other thing too. Why she's like, backing away from this is the centrists to always lose, because it's like that old quote: if you're going to vote for a Republican or a kind of a Republican, you're going to vote for the Republican. So, and this is why the hard left would so crush him, because it would be like, oh, give me a break. A Green New Deal is going to put every American to work. The way FDR put the country to work with the New Deal. That's what it's going to do. You're getting money from oil lobbies and fossil fuel companies and the coal industry and all that. You could have just called them. But Kamala can't do that because she gets money. The Democratic Party gets her money. Like when the one thing she said about we're going to end private prisons. I was like, wow, are you sure? Does the DNC know this? That you just
Did you take a focus group first? Because that's the only way you'll say it. Oh, and by the way, Mike Pence was able to use her record against her record as a prosecutor against her. And gee, I wonder how we could have prevented that. If only there was a primary where somebody got virtually no delegates, so there was a clue that maybe she shouldn't be given the VP spots.
I know. She didn't even make it to Iowa. And she's the VP? Like, wouldn't you pick somebody really strong in the VP slot?
When she said my home state of California, you could feel the state of California collectively sigh.
Yes.
You could feel, I guess, we know. Okay. We know you're here. Thanks.
Pence is such a lunatic looking guy. He can't physically smile. I think he believes smiling is a sin like masturbation or something. And that's why he can't do it, because
Graham, you put on a spiky chastity belt and we'll see how much you're smiling. All right. Those things are painful and it goes right into his thigh.
I mean, it's just like, God, this guy's so beatable. He's so beatable. And the Trump plan is so beatable. when he goes, you want to roll back the Trump tax cuts? She's like, only on the four. You know, you go, yeah, absolutely. Because your Trump tax cuts it was $1.5 trillion that you gave to billionaires. Those, yes, I absolutely want to roll those back. You don't go, no, sorry. He pushes you back on your heels and you stay back there and go, okay, no.
Yeah. Oh, and they were so easily, I mean, he was using Reaganomics. Which we all know has failed. All she had to do was just say, that's ridiculous. That tax cut only benefited the richest among the richest among us. That's what we're rolling back. Anywhere that wages have done better in this country has nothing to do with Trump's tax cuts and everything to do with living wage movements a la Samozuwant in Seattle happening across the country. So you want to talk about wages getting better a little bit on the micro level? That's why that has happened on a small scale, not because of your tax cuts. So let's talk living wages. Easy. She would have owned the debate. It's not better. Me and you can come up with this stuff. We were just watching it.
I know. You go, oh, what are you talking about? Instead of tax breaks for the billionaires like you and Trump have done, Pence, we're going to give people $15 an hour minimum wage. We're going to give people she kind of said free college in there. I was like, wow, did she go to Bernie's website? Where'd she find that? Like, no talk of Medicare for all.
No, healthcare at all didn't, other than the Affordable Care Act's bad, the Affordable Care Act's good. I mean, it's amazing that like the right-wing health plan is not far right enough for the Republicans, but Democrats are still on board. I mean, wow. If
you went with a left populist progressive platform, you would crush these guys. You would crush them. She could look right into the camera and say, ladies and gentlemen, they have given tax breaks to the wealthy. They have given trillions of dollars in the CARES Act to Wall Street. And what I'm going to do, what we are going to do, what the president and I are going to do are help you out. But she really can't say that because the Democratic Party has signed off on the $4.25 trillion in the CARES Act. Like it's all been, the Democrats are complicit in all of this. So she really can't argue,
Well, know what else was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And when he's like, we stand by our police, she kind of said some things, but she doesn't have a leg to stand on based on her record as attorney general and district attorney. Joe Biden doesn't have a leg to stand on because of the 94 crime bill. Again, you take a hard left, you show Pence and Trump as the fascists, as the ones that support the brutalization of cops. You support them. You not support, but you shine the light on and show how you are so drastically different. She just said we're kind of different, but we agree on we're not going to get rid of fracking, and like it's unreal. It's just
you want to talk about that moment where the police brutality was brought up and Breonna Taylor was brought up. It's amazing that the Democratic establishment will weaponize identity politics for dishonest means. Whenever they're talking about the left, they'll use it against the left all day. But if ever there was a moment to kind of bring up identity politics in a genuine way and in a right way, she should have just full stop went, I'm sorry. We're talking Breonna Taylor. Did the old right-wing white guy from Indiana just have the nerve to say there's no racism in America? And say that it hurts his feelings and it's disrespectful to imply that there's racism in this country? Well, guess what, Mikey P? There is racism in this freaking country. And if it makes you uncomfortable, do something about it as a leader instead of just passively accepting it or trying to pretend it's not there. And how dare you? How dare you tone police people that have been victims of this racist, oppressive system? If ever there was a time, because that's when, identity politics, just the concept is not bad. The way it's weaponized dishonestly is bad. So if ever there was a time to appropriately use it, that was a moment. And it didn't even cross her freaking mind. When he said
that, I was like, okay, here she goes. She's been waiting for this all night. She's going to slam dunk on him right now and say all the things that you just said. And she didn't. I was like, because she's a prosecutor. She's a cop. She's on the sides of the cops. I mean, she ultimately, she can't sit there and say, I want to defund the police. She's not going to say that. she can't do those things. And that's again another just gaping flaw when everyone's like, yeah, we got Kamala. It's like you picked someone that Tulsi Gabbard took out a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
she shredded her
a year ago. And then this is what's happening. It was just like Pence is just giving you just right across the plate, and you're just bunting. Like you should have shelled that ball.
Just swinging and missing, bunting on a good pitch. I mean, it was. And then you know what? Again, talking strictly debate standpoint here. Whenever she skirted around something, which every politician in the history has done, Pence called her on it. He said, notice she didn't answer the question. He called it. When he was asked, oh my God, when he was asked, would you ban abortion in Indiana? He started talking about the assassination of Soleimani. I mean, if ever there's, ladies and gentlemen, he was just asked, would you ban abortion? And he said, let me tell you why assassinations are dope. And it's great we took out Soleimani. Did he not hear the question? What planet is he freaking on? She didn't even say that. Like, she didn't say anything close to it. I mean, I remember, and you know, I mean, the Democratic Party has been very weak my entire lifetime. But man, I remember when it was like Dick Cheney versus John Edwards, you know, and again, not a fan of either, obviously. But whenever Dick Cheney would do that same thing, whenever they would ask him like a question like, hey, would you be an authoritarian lunatic in this situation? And he didn't want to just say yes, and he would skirt around it. John Edwards every single time would be like, that question was about jobs, right? And you heard what he just said. Okay. So it was subtle, but it was there. Right. Kamala Harris didn't even do that. She didn't even do that. She did nothing. She just let it go. I was like, are you present? Are you here tonight? Are you awake? Holy, like, I mean, I couldn't believe it. And I'm no Kamala Harris fan, far from it. But even I, from a debate standpoint, had higher expectations by that.
It was unbelievable. As A. Maris just said, shave your knuckles for justice. It was the battle of Soberface versus Snarky Smirk, played by two imperialist cops. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable, man. I just couldn't. I couldn't.
They are two grossly unlikable people. Like, they are like imagine we just met the two of them at like a dinner party or something, and someone was like, guess what their jobs are. You wouldn't guess politician in like 40 guesses. You'd be like, well, I'd imagine they don't deal with the public much. I'd imagine they don't talk in front of people ever. Yeah, they're very off-putting. I don't know. Do they? I'm gonna say cop. Well, close. Another guess? Like, well, I'm gonna say gee, I don't. I mean, you would never guess politician. Because it's like usually when you're that off-putting of a person, that's probably not a good career choice for you.
Well, look. So there's four people here because the two presidential. Trump and Biden are both in their 70s. Who the vice president is pretty critical because especially the current president has COVID, right? There's still a pandemic going on. Trump could get this and not make it or be not physically able. Pence could become president in the next couple of weeks if Trump, you know, obviously if he dies, but if he just becomes so incapacitated, if he's intubated, he's hooked up to a respirator, they're going to have to swear in Pence. So that's a reality. Joe Biden is an old man who is showing cognitive decline. So if they win, there's a good chance within the next 4 years, Kamala Harris could be sworn in to be president. So
and she would get destroyed. And I mean, whoever she runs against in 2024 will slaughter her. And hopefully there's an MPP candidate.
Well, yeah. But like these four people. So we're really looking at four potential presidents here. Because of the age of the two guys, COVID, which one of them has, these four people from these two utterly corrupt parties, there's nothing exciting about any of them. They're all corporate. They're all pro-cops. They're all in favor of fracking. They're all against a Green New Deal. Like, tell me the fucking difference. Like, okay, two of them are like Nazis and the other ones are Republicans. It's like, it's insane to me that these are our fucking choices. Like, And to listen to dumb neoliberals, it's always stupid neoliberals that are against a third party. Oh, that'll take votes away. No, it won't take votes away. It'll take votes away from the 100 million people that don't vote. It'll actually get more people into the election process. But if you notice, by design from these two corrupt parties, they don't want a lot of people voting.
No, they definitely don't. And they don't want any threat to the duopoly. I mean, Republicans and Democrats are built around the duopoly existing. Let's be as horrible and pro-corporate as we possibly can be, because our alternative is just this ineffective, weak party who's happy to take the same money. Well, let's be ineffective and weak and be happy to take the same money, because we're not as horrible as these other people, and we'll rely on people's amnesia every 4 to 8 to 12 years to just take a gamble on one or the other. Hey, these folks have been ineffective for a long time. I'm going to take a chance on these gruesome people. Hey, these gruesome people have been gruesome for a long time. I'm going to take a chance on these ineffective people. Maybe they've changed. Turns out neither one's changed. And that's what they don't tell us about. They tell you it takes a Republican wing and a Democrat wing for the American eagle to fly. What they don't tell you is that that eagle shits on everybody's head. And that's what it flies for. That's the part they don't tell you.
It's unbelievable. 500 people watching, 186 likes. Get the likes up there, folks. There's 500 of you watching. Make sure everybody hits the like button right now. It's simple. It's easy. You do it right now. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, we watched the debate, so you didn't have to.
Oh, Jesus.
We just watched that thing. It was really, I mean, it was more boring than the presidential debate too. I mean, it was incredibly boring. I mean, I was watching that thing and I'm like, well, we don't have a cure for COVID yet, but we sure as hell have a cure for insomnia. I mean, we got that figured out. Just put on this thing.
I just can't. This is what centrism does. It allows Mike Pence to score wins.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
Kamala's at the big, has some of the wins at the top where she's just like 210,000 people are dead. That's a hard thing for Pence and Trump to kind of get around. Like, that's a big number. And
then they both backed away from the coronavirus, which, I mean, you're right. She was making some leeway there. And then they both, and I remember in the Post, it was Chuck Todd of all, which, I mean, if Chuck Todd makes an observation, holy shit. Right. But even Chuck Todd was saying, well, yeah, they're backing away. They backed away from coronavirus. They kind of didn't want to go there. He was objectively right. He's right. They didn't. We know why Pence didn't, because so many people are dead, and it's been. Why the hell didn't Kamala want to hammer it home? Why didn't she just grab that take the reins and hammer it home and beat him to a pulp on the coronavirus issue? Why didn't she do that? I mean,
because
it was so bad. It's almost like, I mean, I don't think you could have done that poorly unless you were. The only way you could have done worse than her is if you were trying to lose on purpose. That is the only way you could have done worse than her. And I'm not embellishing, nor am I trying to even be funny right now. Unless you were deliberately trying to lose that debate. That's the only way you could have done worse than Kamala Harris.
I was literally going in tonight. I'm like, she's going to clean up. She's going to wipe.
I thought so too.
I go, there's a lot about her I don't like. I've made videos about it for sure. But I'm like, when it comes to debating, she's going to win. And I don't like Pence at all. And she's got so much ammunition, and she just kind of let him. Because one of the things is, and this is why the Democratic Party is so beatable. You can fault Trump and Pence for all their handling of the pandemic, but at some point, Pence could go, well, you guys just didn't agree to a stimulus package because you don't want to take care of the American people. That just happened. The Democrats just walked away from a deal, that would give people stimulus money. And
they walked away from the deal, and they didn't call Trump's bluff either.
I know.
What you do is if they actually cared, they would put something on his desk where it's like, okay, sign it, buddy. We're gonna have monthly payments going back to March. It's proactive or retroactive, excuse me. I mean, that's what they would do. But in reality, here's what you're choosing between, America. There's one party that hates you so much they would risk losing the White House if it means they don't have to help you. And you have another party that hates you so much, they're willing to try to make the other side look bad so their corpse of a candidate can be dragged across the finish line, maybe. Aren't you inspired? Those are your choices. That's our political system.
Oh, all right. Let's answer some super chats. Drew Wittenmeyer, shave your knuckles for justice. A public option for poor means bad health care for the poor. I am bitter. I'm making a Manhattan. Love you both. I may dip. No, again, like,
You're right, and enjoy that Manhattan.
Oh, this, and I knew it. I knew when they were like screwing Bernie in the primary and then Bernie just quit. I was like, this is what Biden will offer, is the Republicans want to get rid of Obamacare, and he'll just say, we're going to try to save it. And if he wins the election and becomes president, he'll just scream, we saved this bad healthcare plan. Rather, again,
we prevented a worse one.
Put Medicare for all next to what Mike Pence is saying. Just look, just right now, just earlier tonight, all Kamala had to do, if she was a real progressive, look in the camera and go, we're going to give you Medicare for all. They want to take away Obamacare. We're going to make it even better. We're going to give everybody free healthcare. Everyone's going to get it, especially in this pandemic. You're worried about healthcare costs. You're afraid to go to the doctor for other non-COVID related things like is happening. Yeah. Other issues are more heart attacks, or all this stuff is happening because people are just afraid to go to the hospital for money and for getting COVID. And they think the hospitals are overrun. Some cities they are. You could win that hands down. Boom.
Oh, big time.
And we're gonna have flexible hospital beds ready to go for an uptick. And also, if there's ever another pandemic down the road, we're going to reinstate the pandemic. You could just go boom, 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 boom. And Mike Pence would have nothing to say other than, oh, we're best, and Trump, and, we beat ISIS, the caliphate, or whatever. Like, even that argument.
How would we pay for it? How would we pay for it? How would we pay for it? That's all he'd have.
Right.
And she'd be like, first of all, how can we afford not to pay for it?
Right.
How are we going to pay for it if we don't do it? Look at what's happening right now. Look, I mean, use their own economic bullshit against them. Be like, we're shut down right now. If we had healthcare, we might be in a better place. Our numbers are still going up.
You look at Mike Pence and you go, so are you saying it's more important to save money than save lives? So you'd rather people die so you could save money? Just be real clear on that. Like, pin him on that. And he'd be like, wow.
Where is that in the Bible?
Yeah.
You're Christian, right, Mike? Find me that in the Bible. What would Jesus have to say about that? I've read your book, Mike. I've read your book. The guy got pissed off one time. And you know what he was pissed about? Freaking capitalism.
Yes.
That's what pissed him off the one time he got pissed. I mean, it's so easy to knock down a blank suit like Mike Pence. And she just, I mean, it's the fact that guy, I mean, if ever you needed evidence number 1,000,074, which the number's really high. I just made that actual number up, but it's a very high number on why we need to completely gut this system and change the face of electoral politics in this country, and nothing else would do. Mike Pence went 2-0 in vice presidential debates. Holy shit.
How is that possible? Like,
it shouldn't be.
Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to read some super chats. Drew Whittlemeyer, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Hold on. If you're against fracking, well, then what's your plan to ruin the water table then? Haha. Bubble Gumpy, will you guys have the Fly on? He was interesting. Yeah, he's doing a bunch of interviews right now. That Fly on Pence's head.
I actually thought that was the Fly was operating the controls. That's my theory.
I was like, well, it has to be a male fly because there's no way Pence would let a female fly get that close to him. John Nada, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Have you guys seen Planet of the Humans? Putting population aside, what does it say about green solutions? I have seen Planet of the Humans. There's some stuff in there that's like, they point out there's some stuff I have some questions about. There's no doubt that there's some people within the green that are like, there's big money and fossil fuels are coming in trying to sort of greenwash actual climate change, climate solutions, I should say. But there's also some things to dispute. I mean, it's a Michael Moore movie and he makes interesting movies. He's a good storyteller, but also there's always some holes to poke into his movies pretty easily. So
like almost any doc, I have not seen Planet of the Humans. I still haven't seen it yet, but it's because I have to see, hang on, I got a list right in front of me. I have to see Deer Hunter 2001, The Court Jester, The Gray Fox, Dr. Strangelove, Battle of Algiers, 3 Days of the Condor, and Born on the 4th of July. So I have to see those, and then I'll get to Planet of the Humans.
Good. I'm glad you're going to do that, Ron. Hey, Mayor, shave your knuckles for justice. I just lost 1,000 IQ points watching that. I'm retreating into my basement with a whiskey, only wearing a t-shirt.
Perfect.
I filled it with sand and hung a UV light in case I never see the ocean again. Oh, fantastic. Christopher Walker, shave your knuckles for justice. Proud to have not voted for the lesser of two evils in a presidential election. Vote yes on Prop 15 and 21 if you live in California. Education funding and rent control. All right. Jesse L., shave your knuckles for justice. What do you think about Kim Iverson saying that Asians are better educated, smarter, and stay married? That seemed very biased, racist, and offensive. I don't know. That's Kim's opinion. I
don't know the context of it either. I don't know anything about it. So
yeah, I'd have to hear the whole context of what she was saying and how she was saying it, rather than just comment on a thing. Let me get into a couple more super chizats. Hold on. Boom. Martin Rad, shave your knuckles for justice. Martin, thank you for supporting the show. Pence said their administration would represent the best of America. Could he be right? Are they the best America's got? Is this the best humanity has? Is it time to accept the uncomfortable truth? Yeah, this is a sad reflection that these four people are the best America's got. These three guys, and then a woman that's really proud that she put a bunch of people in jail and protected pedophile priests as district attorney and let Steve Mnuchin off the hook. Like, listening to her talk about, I prosecuted the banks. I mean, I almost like threw my TV out the window when I heard that, because I was just like, no, you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I still got to hold on to the hope. I mean, I think we all do, that we can do better, and I firmly believe we can. I mean, I know that there's the resources and the people and the entities out there that we can do a lot better. We just are kind of engulfed in the power struggle.
Yeah. Snork Y2K, what's up, Mitch? No Secret Service agent would take a fly for Pence. Christopher Walker, neither would answer the plan of what happens if the president dies. Yeah, I know. Neither of them answered that. It's a valid question to answer. Any vice president, because that's the vice president. You are a heartbeat away. Even if the president is young and in great shape, they could die for any number of reasons. There could be an assassination, any number of reasons. You need to be able to answer that question. You're a heartbeat away from the presidency. What are you going to do? They just had nothing to say.
I mean, and that's such an easy, I mean, I get like where it's like addressing something like that is kind of awkward if you are the VP yourself. I mean, I can kind of understand that, because it's basically like, hey, you might have to take this gig immediately if something bad happens. But like, just have like a kind of generic diplomatic answer where you're just like, I will call to whatever level I am asked to serve at. I will meet that call and I will do it with the dignity and acumen required for the office. I mean, but just pull it out of your ass. Just have some canned bullshit answer.
God forbid something were to happen.
God forbid, yeah.
Boom, 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 and I will continue the policy that we have set forth, and I will do these things. That's what I would say.
And then turn around so we can all see the American flag waving from your ass. That's all you have to do. That's really all you have to do.
Oh, Randy Rhea, shave your knuckles for justice. How about Harris bragging about 7 former George W. Bush cabinet members supporting their campaign towards the end? That was insane. I mean, this is what they did at the Democratic convention, is had a bunch of Republicans speak. And then she's like, we're supported by George. So they literally, this is the Democratic Party strategy. Abandon the left, because the left will cost them money. The left will lose all their big corporate donors, the war machine. So let's go after like Mitt Romney Republicans. Let's go after people that are Republicans, but are a little turned off by Trump. That's their strategy. Not to help working class Americans, not to give us all the things that we need. That what their strategy is to go after like moderate Republicans. That's their plan. And they've made it very clear from their convention to her read to the Biden Trump debate. to what Kamala said. It's like it's unreal. Like that's what they want to do. All right. Sharif Snug. Sharif, shave your knuckles for justice. What nobody wants to call out Nancy Pelosi for stopping another round of stimulus checks. Yep. A mass screwing happens on both sides. That's what they do.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. They're both willing to play with your lives, our lives, for just politics' sake. I mean, it's like, it's not that you have a federal government that's forgotten about you. You have a federal government. They hate you.
They hate you.
They hate us. They hate us.
They're deliberately screwing us. Christopher Walker. Boom. Notice Pence briefly mentioned Operation Warp Speed. Yes. And we just had Whitney Webb on this show yesterday explaining what Warp Speed really is. It's a secret vaccine program that the CIA and the military are doing. And we don't know what's really happening. And all these weirdos are being put in charge of it. Watch the video. I just dropped it with Whitney Webb explaining what Operation Warp Speed really is. It's a bunch of lunatics from the Dark Winter operation, from Operation 201, all of these same creeps. And of course, they mention it, Operation Warp Speed. The military is making a vaccine. Huh.
Well,
Weird.
I mean, and at least that was one thing where Kamala Harris was like, look, if this is some like Trump says, oh, we got this vaccine, I ain't just going to, fall in line automatically.
Right.
If in the next couple of weeks, he's like, we got it. Like, no, you don't. We're not.
Yeah.
No, you psycho. No.
344 likes, over 600 people watching, folks. Let's get the likes up there. Thanks for watching. Chris Kelly, shave your knuckles for justice. Politicians really have one concern, themselves. Why do we debate policies? We need to talk about power to the people, gerrymandering, voter suppression, more reps, jury nullification, voter ballot initiatives, ranked choice voting. Yeah, we should really be talking about ranked choice voting. That's such a great solution because ranked choice voting really eliminates personal slams and stuff like that because the candidates actually need to get a coalition. Ranked choice voting actually is so great for democracy because what you do if you're a ranked choice voter, I need to get the other people on the ballot, their constituents or their potential voters, to give me a number 2 or 3 vote. Like rather than just say personal attacks on this person, I need to say, look, this is what I'm going to do. And it's like more coalition building and actual gets into.
Oh, absolutely. Well, look what's happening in Maine. Look what's happening. I mean, Lisa Savage, who, and I'm hoping she wins. She's getting more press. She's getting airtime. She's included in the debates because they have to, because it's a ranked choice voting system. So people want to hear from everyone. So people are hearing her ideas. And yeah, I mean, it's forcing the Democrat to come to her a little bit. It's forcing the Republican pretty much out the door. So we'll see what happens. I hope she wins.
Yeah. That's what we need. Push for ranked choice voting. Farkas garbage. Shaving knuckles for justice. I thought Kamala looked like the adult at least. Yeah, I mean, they weren't bickering like the last one, so we could actually hear it. It wasn't just annoying people yelling at each other like the presidential one. Like, I don't even know what was said half the time because there was 3 morons yelling. So there was at least like listening to each other. But this was, God, Mike Pence is so beatable. Mike Pence is so
yeah, this one, I mean, the last one was annoying because it was just chaos. This one was annoying because it was just like, what are you doing?
God,
how could you not knock that down?
I know. Like, unreal. Emblem fade. I hope that was Flint water they gave him. Shave your knuckles for justice.
I'm thirsty.
I'm thirsty. See, I'm not in for publicity stunts except for this one. Get bucket. Shave your knuckles for justice. Derek Chauvin was released on $1 million bail today. No systemic racism to worry about. Weird how Kamala didn't mention tear gassing citizens and unmarked vehicles kidnapping people. Bipartisan, of course.
Yep.
This more incremental centrism. So if we get Biden and Harris, there'll just be these little little changes to the way we police, but nothing, no big overhauls. LAPD will still get 54% of the city's operating budget. Maybe they'll knock it down to like 49% and go, oh, big victory.
No, they'll increase the funding, but they'll use that funding to have a seminar and shooting someone in the leg. That's what they'll do. I mean, it's, and again, there's another moment that what Get Buckets bring up, another moment when he was, parroting that same the rioting and this, it's sad what happened with the rioting. God. And instead of refuting that and being like, okay, first of all, yeah, it sucks that, buildings have gotten burned down, but it sucks even more that there is the systemic murdering of Black people by police that has pushed people to their breaking point. So let's not deflect off of this, Mike Pence. Let's stay on it. And how dare you equate buildings, which are inanimate objects, with people's lives? How dare you do that? Do you have any idea how insulting that just was? How disrespectful and racist that just was? How clueless are you? I mean, she could have so easily refuted all of that stuff, and she did none of it. She just surrendered and rolled over. And, oh, yeah, the rioting and looting. You're right. That's bad. We're not for that either. We're tough on crime. I mean, it was just
unbelievable because that's who she is. She honestly believes that.
That is who she is. You're right.
She's the one who said more schools, less prisons. There's that video that I've shown of her mocking people that want more schools and less prisons. That's who she is.
Yeah.
So she's probably one of these ones like, oh, the law, again, you could have said, well, first of all, we've seen videos of some undercover cops and some white nationalists smashing and starting this stuff. So to say that it's only the left that is doing this, or Antifa or Black Lives Matter, is just falsely incorrect. And the people that are doing it, we're not looking at the frustration that comes out of systemic racism and money. This is the voice of people who are voiceless. They're frustrated. I don't condone it, but I understand it. And you seem to care more about a burning than a Black man getting killed. Like, that's how you crush him on that. That's how you slam dunk him on that. You do it on a national stage. But no, she just went, well, cops aren't just some bad apples. She just did some bad apples nonsense. GDNPB, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. I really thought Pence would announce Trump's new plan to build a wall behind the wall. Yeah.
First one's not going so great.
Yeah, we need more.
Mexico's going to pay for the second one, I swear.
Tristan G, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Corruption of our system is unveiled. We're fooked. Yes, I know. Operation Warp Speed is really just showing what this is all about. They're forcing us into a civil war so they can clamp down on martial law. It won't matter who wins the election. And they're going to, with martial law, they can suspend everything. They can just kick down your door. There's no law. There's no habeas corpus. There's no nothing. There's no due process. There's nothing. And that's what they're ramping us into. So this the debate, who won it, who lost it? It's like, we've all lost this a while ago because the deep state took shit over. Harry C. Smith, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Mike Pence should join Proud Boys so he can take his shirt off and roughhouse with other fascist, curious, commando fetish bisexual men trying to come out.
Fascist curious. That is funny. That is a funny fascist curious commando fetish.
Mike Pence is secretly gay. Like, we all know this. Marilyn Montoya, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. If Biden wins and we do not have COVID controlled, is Biden going to govern from the basement with Jill always at his elbow? Serious question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if we do have COVID controlled, I mean, that's how else do you think he'd be able to govern? Yeah. I mean, Jill will be right there, like just changing his diapers or whatever else she needs to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he's
bad. I think I might have missed Jedi Mullet sent one. Did I miss the Jedi? Yeah, that's the thing. I only complain about StreamYard is it just sometimes it skips over one. But Jedi Mullet 77. Sorry, I missed it, brother. Ron, you might want to add Kiss the Ground to your list. Oh, a list of movies. We'll put that on.
Oh, it's the movie. List. All right, Kiss the Ground. I'll write it down. Kiss the Ground.
If they've long since told us to F off, why do we continue to pay attention to them? Let's pay attention to better ideas that they ain't coming from DC, right? Dismantle the duopoly. You're right. Placone Lucy 2024.
Lucy Placone. I'm not presidential material, but Lucy is.
All right. Okay, Ron. That's a bold stance. Just letting the cat lobby just do whatever they want, I guess, huh?
Well, the cat lobby, I mean, you know, they're for good things, not bad things.
Just more strings.
More
Michael,
strings.
Michael Leitskow, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Harris is the ultimate super cop. You got that right, Sharif Snugs. Oh. I'm sorry, Mitchell Leitskow, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Can we assume this is 2024's election audition tape? Yeah, I was saying that going into this. This is the two of them are going to both run in 2024, regardless of who wins this.
Probably.
It'll be Biden Harris. They're going to try. They're both going to try.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I mean, if this is any indication, Harris would get trounced by a Republican, but hopefully the duopoly is a thing of the past by then.
Let's hope.
Hopefully there's an MPP candidate in 2024.
Yeah, I really hope so. Buster Peak 21, boom. Like Dylan Radigan says, you have to understand our economic system and how to work it to your benefit. I don't think a real revolution that would prevail can happen for a long time. Something to consider. I don't think I quite understand this.
Well, then how do you make our economic system work to our benefit? How do you make Wall Street work to our benefit? How do you make an institution that makes all the rules and calls all the shot and owns all the corporations and has values in the quadrillions? Meanwhile, we can't even provide healthcare to everybody. How do you make that work to your advantage without a huge shift in the status quo, starting at the local level and expanding nationwide?
This sounds like
you do that. I mean, it's impossible. You can't. Like that's the only. You need a straight up revolution, and it's not going to be from the top down. It's going to be, you know, from the bottom up. But there's no other solution. It's
what the system is. If what you're saying is like the free market can fix this, the free market created this. Like capitalism created all these problems. It is completely out of check. It is out of line. And we are dying as a result of it, like literally and figuratively. And an economic collapse is coming. Oh, my screen just froze.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see your face, but wait, now you're back. You're back for me now.
But
yeah, there you are.
Like an economic collapse is coming. And I watch a lot of financial experts, like Wall Street people, not necessarily just like Richard Wolff, but like Wall Street experts. They're saying a financial collapse is coming because we didn't do anything to regulate after the 2008 crash. Obama didn't do anything. He passed, and they passed Dodd-Frank, which is nothing, which is like a Band-Aid on a shotgun wound. They've done nothing. And all of the bubbles have been created. They've been expanding well prior to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So like, when I watch like Wall Street people, hedge fund people, we had Christy I on the show from Boom or Bust like a week or so ago, and she said these venture capitalists, and hedge funds and investment groups and foreign countries, they're shorting the dollar, which means they're betting that the dollar is going to crash. They're betting against it. So if these big hedge funds are spending hundreds of millions of dollars, they're not betting loosey-goosey. Like they know it's happening. It's going to happen. And you know, when the stock market crashed in 1929, we didn't really start feeling the effects till probably 2 or 3 years later. It wasn't until about 31 or 32 that we really started to feel the effects. So this 6-7 month shutdown of the economy, we really haven't felt it yet. And so far, the stock market's doing okay. So we're going to face a huge collapse. And the CARES Act was just giving Wall Street the money to go buy up everybody's businesses and homes. Like there's 28 million evictions that are looming. Some people would put the number a lot higher than that. This economic system that created these problems is completely broken, and it's going to have to get completely rebuilt from the ground up. I don't see how are we going to fix this? Print more money? That didn't work for all like Argentina, Greece, all these other countries that had financial problems. They just kept printing money. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess martial law is easier than the puppet show that they're running. All right, let's couple super chats I may have missed. Hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Unit number 5150, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. I collected billionaire tears for this glorious mustache for justice.
Jar him and put him on eBay.
Yes. Yes. All right. Okay, good. I didn't miss any of them. Easy. Just become a billionaire. Then it'll all work to your advantage. Okay.
I hadn't thought of that. That's a good one.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, guys.
You're on the winning team if you do that. So why just do that?
I never thought of that. Just become a billionaire. Shit.
Yeah. Damn. It was right under our nose the entire time.
Dave Wittenmeyer, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Dave, can we find the I Yield My Time FU guy to moderate the next debate? He had a deep understanding of decorum. I would love that.
He is a comic in Los Angeles.
Really? Of course he is.
Yeah. He's a comic in Los Angeles. I've seen him on. I don't know if I follow him, but yeah, I mean, I've seen him on Twitter, and I know a couple of people who actually know him. But yeah, he is a comic in Los Angeles, so I bet he'd be a great moderator.
I'd be great. Fuck you. Go. I yield my time. That was so great.
I mean, I might have met him before and not realized it. You know, like it's like I might have seen this guy at a show or something, or like whatever. Not known it was the I yield my time, fuck you guy. Of course, because it would have been in the past, so it would have been before the I yield my time, fuck you moment. But
oh God, I love that guy. Well, this is Truth to Tweet asked this question. He sent me some money on Venmo because she was having some problems. If you're having, some people have said they've had problems using the credit card through YouTube. I'm sorry about that. You can go to Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's no extra fees. I get all the money, and I will answer your question. So who's Truth to Tweet's question? Graham, if you and Kamala were a couple, would you call yourself Gramala or Karam?
Go with Cram.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to go Karam. Wow. Yeah. I don't think I could date a neoliberal cop. I don't think that could happen. I've always wanted to date this LA Sparks, one of their best players, one of the best female basketball players ever is Candace Parker.
Mm-hmm.
And I would date her because then our celebrity name would be Candy Graham.
Right?
Right? I mean, she's 6'4", and I'm
5'5". I'm 5'4". I dated a girl that was 6'2" before.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
man.
really,
Yeah. I'm 5'4". I dated a girl that was 6'2", and it was. I mean, yeah, at times it felt a little, but it was fine. You know, I mean, we didn't care.
Yeah, love is love, man.
Right? We were young too. We were in college. You know, we didn't give a shit. She had this she was dating this dude with shoulder length red hair that was,
that's so great.
Long
hair back then. Oh my God.
Really long hair and a bunch of piercings. And she was like 6 feet. And she was like a sorority girl too. I don't know what she saw in me. She's cool. Like we're still, I mean, we're not like friends, but every now and again, like I'll get like a message from like, hey, how you doing? Hope all's well. She's like married with kids now, but yeah, we totally dated for a little bit.
Oh, are there any photos of this long hair?
Sure. Of me with, yeah, there's photos on my Facebook. You can find like college photos and stuff. They're there. But yeah, and there might be a picture of me and her somewhere. I'm sure there is, but yeah.
Fantastic, Ron. You're my hero. Ron
Thanks.
is my hero.
What I'm saying is you and Candy got a shot, man. I don't know what you're waiting for.
Candy?
Unintended shot. She's a basketball player. See what I did there?
I'm a Sparks season ticket holder. That's got to mean something.
Right?
Come on.
And you have your pickup line like, hey, we'd be Candy Graham. Will you sign my jersey? And she'll sign it and maybe she'll put her phone number. Like maybe
That's all I'm saying.
She'll be like, don't post that on social media. That's my number. That's for you. It's my number for you.
Sign the jersey here. It's there. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
There you go.
Emblem Fate, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Pence is Pete from the future.
After he writes another essay on how, hey, I know Republicanism is evil, but it's easier for me to have a career in politics that way. So that's what I'm going to do. I love the guy who wrote about how he knew better when he was 18. He's Unreal. Like, I know there's an easy way and a hard way to do this, and the easy way is really corrupt. I'm going to take that easy road now. It's
unbelievable.
People still buy his bullshit. Like, this is a guy admitting, he's like, I want to be a villain. I want to. Yeah. Some people, they want to be David fighting Goliath. I'm teaming up with Goliath, seeing what he offers. I got the wrong message from that story.
Yeah.
This is our guy anyway. He's our guy.
This is our guy. We're like this guy. Deep on this guy.
We like him.
GDNPB. Thank you for supporting the show, folks. I really appreciate you supporting the show. Please hit the like button. We've got 430 likes or 600 people watching, which is fantastic. Let's get the likes up there. Also, you can support me at patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you get bonus content for as little as $2 a month. And I've been a little lax on Patreon, and I apologize. Just the week or two with my dad and everything, it's just been a little much. But I will be more involved in Patreon for sure. And then, of course, Rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up for Rockfin. I put all my videos up there for free, and then my premium content costs $10 a month. But what you get is everyone's premium content. So you get Ron's premium content, Convo Couch, Kim Iverson, Nico House, Richard Medhurst, Whitney Webb is now on there. Dave Anthony from the Dollop is on there. Jimmy Dore's on there. So you get a lot for $10 a month, and it's blockchain cryptocurrency. So check that out. GDNP, last one. If you bet on the dollar to collapse, how do you plan on getting paid? Well, you're going into the specifics of betting on currencies and stuff like that, which I'm not that familiar on. So that is the thing you can do. I mean, you can short a stock. I know that, which is you're betting that it goes down. And so when it goes down, your portfolio increases in price. I don't know the particulars of how that works, but it's absolutely something you can do. And investors do it all the time.
Well, I have my own answer to this question. When you look at the history of money, I read a book called Debt by David Graeber, which, rest in power, David. It's an amazing book, though. I highly recommend it. We've had forms of currency of some sort through a lot of human history. And at some point, it was just used as a way to kind of measure value, kind of like how it does now. And at one point, they used cod as a currency. You see where I'm going with this. Who also likes fish? Cats do. Under a Lucy 2024 administration, salmon would become the official currency, which is valued higher than the dollar already. So we could solve that one in the first 10 weeks, folks. That's all I'm saying.
Great answer, Ron Placone. I'm sure GDNPB is now resting easy knowing that salmon 2024 is going to be the ticket out of this mess.
Mm-hmm. Salmon are actually kind of in danger right now because of climate change, to tell you the truth. But, there's an issue with them right now.
Climate change is a myth. Salmon are dicks. Let's move on.
That's also on the Lucy 2024 platform. They're like, there's climate change, but they're dicks. And we're like, okay.
They're dicks. No, salmon are absolutely endangered. We've talked about that. I read an piece from one of you, Cat B. It's climate change is real. And thankfully, we've got a centrist and a hard right winger battling it out to see
who can do less.
Who can do less? Who's going to not have a Green New Deal more? So we're all going to be dead by 2040. But if Biden gets elected, we'll be dead by 2043. So it's really exciting what's going to happen. Brave New Perth. What's up? God, we miss Australia. Perspectives on American separatism.
What do they mean by that exactly?
Yeah, are you talking about like states like California splitting off and becoming their own countries? Or are you talking about the fact that nobody wants to deal with America and the whole world's watching us just implode? What are you talking about? Because if you're talking about states like California and Oregon, I mean, that might be what comes out of this. Is California might secede? I don't know. There's a big part of me that would actually like that.
If it's done right.
It's done right.
I mean, there was that one like kind of bullshit corporate plan on how to do that, and it's like, yeah, that was just kind of nonsense. But I wouldn't want it. I mean, if anything like that happened, I would want it to be like the entire West Coast or something. I wouldn't want it to just be California.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I think. But
if you got Washington and Oregon to go along with it, that would be pretty powerful. I mean, but California, look, has the 5th largest economy in the world. It has 45 million people. You could do it. You could figure out. I mean, you'd have to. There's a lot of details to iron out. I mean, there's a lot of details to iron out. So, as a concept, I'm for it. Again, like you say, provided it's done correctly. But I don't know. That might have to happen because, watching. There's just a huge divide in this country, and there's just some people like watching. And again, I'm super critical of the neoliberals, and they're the biggest problem to the left. To the actual left, they're the biggest hurdle is neoliberals. It's not conservatives, it's neoliberals. But the right-wing Trumpers, I mean, there is something that just they are fanatical cult type people, and I don't want to be around them. I don't know. I don't know what to do, but it's a fair question. Megan Morales, what's up, Megan? Thank you for supporting the show. You're making Gotham great again, Megan. Shave your knuckles for justice. Graham watched your
I think they're trying to put chat. They might be using like a voice to text or something.
Watched your chat with Christy I. Given that hedges are shortening money, does this mean you no longer think Kelton's MMT could be a solution to invest domestically that also generates money like education, reparations, etc.? Oh, what a great question, Megan. So yes, I think that Stephanie Kelton's MMT and people like her and Stephen Hale that we've had on the show, Fidel Kaboub, I'm trying to get them back on the show. And I would like to ask them this question because they'll give a better answer than what I'm going to give because I'm not a financial expert. But my guess from what I understand of like Kelton's MMT is right now we're just printing money, which is MMT, but we're doing it in the wrong way. We're not investing it in the country and the infrastructure. So like how MMT, as I talked about a lot, is a critical component of a real Green New Deal, right? So you have a jobs guarantee in that Green New Deal. You're spending money, putting all this money back into the economy that strengthens America and the value of the dollar. Right now, we're just printing money and giving it to corporations and bailing out Boeing and people like that, which is not creating value for America, and America's going to collapse. That's the problem I have with it. So the way it's being done now, it's not good. Like Kelton's MMT, which was, part of Bernie's Green New Deal, was this infusion that lifts up the whole country and lifts it up in terms of money for research and technology. This is one of the few things Kamala said that like I agreed with tonight was she was like, we used to be on the forefront of innovation in this country and we're not anymore. And I agree with that. And we should be. Of course, that if she was for a Green New Deal, that's what she should be saying. We don't need fracking. We don't need fossil fuels. We need a Green New Deal. And in that Green New Deal is there's money for education, for free college, to get everybody involved in finding new ways and technology to get us off of oil and to reverse climate change, right? So if it's invested in stuff like that, like the algae I've talked about, the Alvaria, who that absorbs CO2, right? Those type of things, then the MMT can actually strengthen America. But right now, we're just printing money and giving it to corporations like we did in 2008, where Bush and Obama gave like almost $2 trillion to the banks, which didn't get infused. That if that money got kept people back in their homes, and instead of 6 million foreclosures, we saved 6 million homes, and more Americans owned property and owned wealth, and we had less debt, then that MMT would have helped, as I understand it, and an economist might dispute this and give better information, which I totally will secede to that because I'm not a financial expert. But my understanding of it is, if you print money that goes and fuses back into the economy, that makes the economy stronger, then the value of the dollar is stronger. Megan, as I understand it.
Well, yeah, because it's like, I mean, in putting it at its most basic, and again, Stephanie Kilton, Stephen Hale, they can all explain this a lot better, but it's essentially a sunk cost. So like, looking at the original question, like, I don't think the betting against the dollar in any way would diminish MMT, because really MMT, it's just using whatever the currency is of that country to invest in that country.
Right. And so, yeah, so right now the MMT, the reason they're betting against it is because we're using, as I understand it, sort of MMT the wrong way.
Right. We use it the backwards way. We use it for the rich, and we use it for the 1%, and we use it, like you said, I mean, you put it, I think very succinctly, like it doesn't go, the value doesn't go back into America. It goes into the pockets of a couple very, very rich people who
own
airlines and Wall Street.
Yeah. So as I've done stories on this recently, 85% of student loans are federal. They're federal loans. So Trump, by executive order, it takes an executive order to do this. That's all it takes. Could forgive those loans. That's not even printing money. That's just saying you don't owe us this money anymore. And that money then all goes back into the economy. So all these people with student loans who are paying whatever their monthly payments are, $200, $300, $500 a month, whatever it is, they now don't have to worry about that anymore. This huge debt burden gets wiped out, which gives Americans right now more cash to infuse into the economy. So that's a way that would strengthen America right now economically. It's a way, and the study that I read, that I did a video on, I did about a week ago, it would actually equates into trillions of dollars, because all the interest that people wouldn't have to pay anymore and all this stuff. And again, if you use MMT to pay for everybody's college, we then have a more educated workforce. We are leading more in technology. We can come up with these solutions to climate change that we can export around the world. So in that capacity, again, these are specific examples of how MMT could really strengthen our economy. But because we're not doing that, these investors are going, oh, they're just creating hyperinflation. Like, printing money is going to create hyperinflation. And there's a debate whether we're going to have hyperinflation or hyperdeflation. Neither one of them are good. And they're all going to come and they're all going to fuel a collapse. So, great question, Megan. Great question. And I'm going to bring more financial people on the show to clarify this in case there's anything I just said that I got wrong, which I may have done. I got vegan guns. Doesn't mean I know everything about finances. But great question. God, you guys ask great questions. I love this show. I love doing this show. Buster Peak 21, boom, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Buy assets, understanding derivatives and securities. Capitalism sucks, but that's the system. Transitioning to a cashless economy with crypto will also help level the playing field. Money is power. Well, that I absolutely agree with.
Tell that to people who are choosing between rent and groceries. Tell that to people who lost everything amidst this pandemic to buy some assets. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, and I'm not trying, but that's easier said than done. And this system has brought the country to its knees. And just saying, oh, we'll use it to your advantage. I'm sorry, that's not going to cut it.
Yeah, you have to have money in reserves to use as assets, to buy stuff like that. But the second part of what you said, crypto is very empowering. Now, crypto has empowered people in third world countries because they don't even have there's 2.5 billion people roughly that don't even have access to banking. So but they have smartphones, right? So you can buy and sell crypto on a smartphone. This is why I would, and I've started to do this myself, and do your own research. and come to your own conclusions. But I've just started to, now we get paid in crypto on Rockfin. So I have some crypto to play with, but I've converted some of it to Ethereum and some of it to Bitcoin. And I've even taken some of my cash and bought some crypto with it when the prices were low, because I'm worried that with this crash, the banks, which by the way, this is a statistic I just read from this guy I forget his name, Richard Schiff. He runs Euro Capital. He's a big investment guy. He's a regular on Boom or Bust. The American banking system is 40th in the world in terms of safety and security, meaning hackable. And also our banking system is 40th in terms of collapsing. So when that happens, when the economy collapses, the fear is, and again, financial experts way smarter than me are saying this, let's say you got $5,000 in cash in your bank account. You're going to go to the bank, and this has happened in other places. Christy, I talked about this. They're going to say, and you're going to go, I want all $5,000 in cash. They're going to go, we can only give you 500. Like what? That's why I would put more of it in crypto. For me, crypto is empowering because it takes power out of the centralized banks and goes into a decentralized currency. But good question. Let's see. Is Pete even a mayor of a real place? God, that's funny. Any jokes about Pete Buttigieg, I'm fine with.
I have been there, so yeah, it's a real place. I mean, I went to college in Indiana, so not in Muncie, but in the state.
Hold on.
Or no, he was South Bend, but I didn't go to Muncie. I wasn't. I was in Bloomington, but South Bend, Muncie, they're kind of close by.
Spark A, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Independent California is worth invading. Jesus. Yeah, of course, someone will want to invade it. Hold on, I want to make sure I didn't miss any of them. Sometimes it just... Gina Gal 9, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Thanks, Graham and Ron. Thank you, Gina Gal. We appreciate you supporting the show. DC, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. The reason JP Morgan and Chase Bank is still one of the top dogs is because they bailed out the U.S. government in the early 20th century. Good to know. Buster Pig 21, boom. Thank you for supporting the show. If you have any extra money, get on crypto exchange and purchase crypto. I recommend XRP. Fiat is going away. Do the research. Yes, I've been talking about this as well. I use Coinbase. It was recommended to me by the people at Rockfin. There's a lot of exchanges you can use. I like Coinbase because it links right to my bank account, so I can take my crypto and convert it to US dollars, and I've used it to pay bills. Also, I have a Coinbase affiliate link that if you buy $100 in crypto using my affiliate link, you get $10 in Bitcoin, and I got $10 in Bitcoin. And some people have already been using this, and we've all been making Bitcoin, which is cool. But do your own research. I highly recommend that. Again, the channels I watch on YouTube are Bitcoins.com's YouTube channel. They have a Crypto 101 to learn about it. I also watch The Moon and Crypto Casey. And I even watch Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's capitalist as fuck. And he says some shit sometimes that's like a little cringy, but he isn't like an investment guy that's waking up to the power of crypto. So do your own research. And my Coinbase link is in any of the show notes in any of my videos. And I even have another great way to support the show. I have a Bitcoin wallet, I have a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and I have an Ethereum wallet, and they're all in the show notes of my videos any of my videos that have come out in the last week. So crypto's the way to go. Did I freeze up again? God damn it.
Yeah, I think you're frozen again.
Oh, what is up? Hold on.
Jiggle the thing. Oh man, Graham's just gone now. Well, here, let me see if I can. Oh, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, by the way, youtube.com/Ron Placone. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to it. I'd appreciate that very much. And also, I'll take this opportunity to announce that I have a show coming up. It's just me, but it's going to be at Flappers Comedy Club. I'm physically going to be there, but it's going to be live streamed. So everyone else is going to be watching it online. So it's not quite live comedy, but we're getting closer. So I'm going to be doing a solo show. I'm going to be doing an hour. I'm going to be airing out all of my election grievances and doing all of my 2020 material because it's going to be right before the election. That is on October 24th. All of the ticket sales go towards the club. You know, I'm a big supporter of Save Our Stages, so I'm trying to help out Flappers. Live venues are going to be the last thing to reopen. So I am going to be doing a live stream show. Proceeds go to the club. If you are interested in attending, please do. It helps support a stage in my community, and it's going to be a fun time. You can watch it online. Again, you get tickets at my website, ronplacone.com. That is October 24th at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, online. So you can attend wherever you're at, where I will be standing on a stage in an empty room. But hey, we're getting closer. It's almost live comedy. And ronplacone.com for those tickets. And please do subscribe to my channel. My Patreon, of course, is also patreon.com/ronplacone, where I can write you your own theme song. That's one of the... Oh, hang on. Now I'm hearing myself in my thing. Let me go to the super chats here. Let's see. I'll do some of these. I'm looking at this live, folks, so I'm going as efficiently as I can. Sandra, if California and other Western states succeed, can you call it Gotham? Nice. Yes. I don't see why not. We'll call it Gotham. Let's do that. All right, let's see. I'm sure there's some other ones that I'm not seeing here. And I'm sorry, I'm doing this in real time, folks. I don't have the whatchamacallit, like the control board in front of me, because I'm not the host of this show. Graham is. So I'm just doing it live in real time. I'm not even signed in on my YouTube. I'm just kind of like here. Let's see. Let me see if I can see some other ones. Oh, here we go. What if I do this? Here we go. Ron looks like a young Bernie. Don't at me. What the? Come on. Really? Why? Because we both have messy hair and glasses. Is that what you're going for? Riley, I see you. No, I can accept that. I am having a kind of weird hair day today. And look, here is what we're going to do. We're going to call out Wall Street. We're going to call out the big banks. I am going to fill up stadiums when I am talking about ideas that inspire people. I'm going to fill up stadiums doing that. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stump for Joe Biden, and nobody's going to show up. This happened before. It happened in 2016. It's happening again in 2020. It's almost like the American people are ready for a real revolution, and they're ready for real change, and they want those ideas, and they want that type of leadership. But the Democratic Party does not want that, because their first concern is not winning. Their first concern is upholding the status quo. So they kneecapped me twice, and they went against the will of the people, and they went against an entire movement of people, and instead put up these horrible centrist candidates. Because their first priority is not winning, and that's why we need to break the duopoly after November.
Why did you quit? Bernie, why did you quit? I'm sorry. I'm back, everybody. I just had to reboot my computer. It's not annoying and frustrating at all. Not at all. It's not. I don't know why this happens. It's Deep State Dan. It's the fucking NSA. They can suck it.
Deep State Dan.
Marco Smith, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. 2020, shaving my knuckles for pork belly future. Absolutely. Kate, our lovely moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, show Kate some love. Shave Your Knuckles.
Hi, Kate.
The best of both shows. Ron, intermission. Ron, you are having a good hair day.
Aw, thanks, Kate. It's been a long one. I had a college show earlier.
Oh, how'd it go, buddy?
I gotta admit, I don't. As much as I miss being on the road, which I miss desperately, I kind of like these college shows from my living room. They're kind of nice. And this particular one, nobody wanted to unmute themselves, so but I got to look at LOLs in the chat. I got to look at that, so I was like, really, none of you. It was yeah. But I mean, what are you gonna do?
Wow.
I couldn't be like, unmute yourself to validate me. Your generation has been handed the short end of the stick and has been giving crippling amounts of debt for the privilege. Unmute yourself so I can feel better. I was like, you don't want to unmute yourself? That's fine. I'm still just going to do my thing. I'll take your questions, and then we all go home. Oh, wait, we all are home. You know what I mean.
You know what I mean. Well,
so it's a fun time.
I'm glad you had a good time. Here's a couple of super chats that I missed. Emblem Fate, shave your knuckles for justice. Russiagate still exists. Neoliberals are worse and crazier. Yep. They're still pushing it, even though there's evidence that has come out to say that.
There was that report today where they were like, hey, we know that you could have read this shit 4 years ago because some of us did. Raise his hand. But if you didn't read it 4 years ago, here's undisputable evidence that they just made this shit up to deflect blame.
Unreal. And wasn't even talked about tonight on the debate.
Oh, no. Of course not.
Oh.
Of course not.
Sparky, be careful, Graham. Deep State Dan will have you pushing Haspel and Pompeo's agenda before you know it. Oh. Buster Peak 21. What's up, Buster? Thank you for supporting the show. Ron, with learning how to build wealth, we can help those less fortunate people and build movements. What's your plan? Oh.
What's my plan? Well, I mean, I'm not against, anything you just said. I just think I'm more interested if instead of saying, oh, let's just make this work to our advantage. I mean, not everybody even has the luxury of entertaining that idea. Right. So I don't really entertain the notion of, trying to maximize a broken system for individual gain. I think doing that is part of what got us in these problems in the first place. Am I against investing in crypto and building wealth that way? Of course not. I'm all for that and go for it. I'm going to try to do some of it myself. And I think all those are good things. But I think at the end of the day, what's a lot better than money power for the type of change we need in society is people power. So what's my plan? I'd like to see a general strike. I'd like to see a societal shift. I'd like to see a revolution in our politics, a revolution in our work culture, and, doing something about the climate catastrophe. Those are all tall orders, but the alternative is going extinct. And would I rather, at least try and maybe fail, but at least try versus, well, we're all going to go extinct, but maybe I'll have a little more in my bank account. I'd rather choose that first option. So that's my plan.
Good plan, Ron. Sparky, Ron sounding pro mom and pop business bourgeoisie. I know. Ron is such a pro business bourgeoisie guy. All right, let me get a couple here. That you read the Change in California to Gotham one.
Yeah.
We did Marco. We did Kate's. All right. Here we go. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the show. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood to support the show or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood to support the show. You can sign up to Rockfin for free, and all my videos are there ad-free. And then the bonus content only costs $10 a month, and it gets you access to everybody. And make sure you've hit the subscribe button to the YouTube channel. We're just about near 75,000 subscribers. So hit it. I fucking froze again? You motherfucker. God damn it.
As soon as you mentioned the subscriber count, here I'll do a. Are you going to do a thing?
A what thing?
Well, no. Are you gonna unfree? Oh yeah. All right. Now you're just. There's nothing. It's just gray.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just gray. Now you're a not picture. It's just audiogram. Now it's gray again. Now it's a nothing.
You motherfuckers.
Just knock that robot dick back into outer space where it belongs.
Fucking horrible robot dick. Just ruining everything. But as long as they can still hear me. So I switched between FaceTime and then this. It just stops recognizing my camera. So like these man, fighting with each other.
It's got a problem with your camera, apparently. Was your camera talking shit?
It was. My camera was talking a little shit. I'll be quite honest. My
I
camera
mean, your camera's just got to pick and choose its battles, man. It's not worth it. You know, we're all on the same team.
I think you're right, dude.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like, what are you doing, camera? Here, I'll do another one. I can do another one.
Yeah,
Miss Hendricks, what's up? Are you you weren't with Jimmy, were you? If so, he's a great guitarist. Pence is a robot. How could he not move with that fly on his head? Right? There's my theory. He was controlling that fly was controlling the thing. That's what I think. He was controlling the buttons. Can we start a petition, says Harry, to have the Darth Vader theme music to be played everywhere Jeff Bezos goes? Yes, but let's make Jeff pay for it. Buster Peak, once you understand the financial system, you'll realize how unimportant this election is. Puppet show. I agree with you there. I agree it's a puppet show. Let's see if there's any other ones. And I think I got them all, maybe. No, wait, here's Sparky. My life was like a movie and I was the star. I feel bad for the younger generations. Most of human history, life was a bummer. That may be the default. All right. What are my thoughts on Eddie Van Halen's death? Very sad. It's a total bummer. And, you know, I feel weird when like a musician dies and I wasn't super big on their music. Like I'm not a Van Halen connoisseur. So I didn't do one of those things like, oh, Eddie Van Halen, because I don't know a ton of Van Halen and I'm not a connoisseur. But I have a hell of a lot of respect for what that guy did for the instrument. I mean, he really set a new bar with what rock and roll guitar means. He, when he didn't get the sound he wanted, he went out and he had the guitar freaking made. He's like, I'm going to make my own guitar. And he really set the trend for that. That was really Eddie Van Halen that kind of set that trend that would later be duplicated by so many guitarists. So many guitarists kind of just getting little customs and tweaks to kind of have their own take on the instrument. So yeah, Eddie Van Halen was very much a pioneer in that regard. He was an excellent player. No one's disputing that ever. How could you? He was an animal, if I must say so, on that instrument. So rest in power, Eddie Van Halen. Very sad news of his death. And thank you for the music question.
Great music question, folks. 512 likes. We're going to read a couple more super chats and then wrap it up. Could you do Beat It as a tribute to Eddie Vedder? You mean Eddie Van Halen?
No, they probably actually mean Eddie Vedder.
I hope they do. Buster Geek 21, I appreciate your perspective, Ron, but it's coming from a person who doesn't understand the financial system.
Well, I mean, you can think whatever you want about me, and with all due respect, Buster Peak, I don't really care whether or not I have your approval, but I mean, I think that it's going to take a mass movement of people. That's what I think. I think it's going to take a general strike. I think it's going to take a mass movement of people. That's more appealing to me than, oh, let's just try to save up and have the system work to our advantage. I'd rather try to work.
You're a financial expert, Buster.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, maybe you are, which all power to you if you are. That's great. But I think whether you're a financial expert or not, at one point in time throughout history, we all crawled out of the trees and decided to cooperate with each other. And humanity seems to work a little better that way. So I'm more interested in a mass movement than, you know, saving as much money as possible, quite frankly. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that I'm against that. I'm for all that stuff. But you know, to me, there's just a couple things that are glaringly more important for the type of change we need. And if I don't have your approval, I don't really care. But, you know, all respect to you. No offense.
Sounds like some hair-splitting fucking semantic bullshit a little bit. Just nitpicky nonsense. I don't know. Maybe the robots keep fucking it up and I'm hungry, so I'm losing my temper's getting short. So go fuck yourself. How about that? I just feel like suddenly getting mad. Kate, yes, I mean Van Halen. She wants me to do Beat It as a could you do Beat It as a tribute to Eddie Van Halen? Could you do Beat It?
Beat It?
That's a Michael Jackson song.
And there's not really like a bit. I mean, Eddie Van Halen, he was the guitar guy. He was.
Yeah. He didn't sing.
Yeah.
Kate, you know what you're talking about? Do you know what band we're talking about? Just beat it as a guitar.
Yeah, that
there. I just
you did it. You did it. That was a Beat It tribute to Eddie Van Halen. He would have just played it on his guitar.
There you go, Kate. I think that's exactly what you were asking for. That's exactly what Kate want.
Oh wait, Eddie was the guitarist on Beat It. Someone's saying, Sparky,
okay.
Eddie played on Beat It or one. Really? I didn't know Eddie Van Halen played guitar on Beat It. I did not know that.
All right, I guess I stand corrected.
Cool. But there must be a killer guitar solo. Okay, so they're saying not only the solo but the riff as well was Eddie. All right. Well, eggs on my face.
All right, you're right.
I never knew that. I never knew Eddie Van Halen played on Beat It.
I didn't know that. He did the guitar riff. Okay.
And I said at the beginning, I was like, yeah, I don't know a lot about Van Halen. Like right after someone asked me, I was like, yeah, I don't know a lot about Van Halen. I mean, I know the obvious, like I know Jump, I know Animal. I know that there was, I don't even know if it was Hagar first and then David Lee Roth. Or no, wait, it was Hagar.
Ron, please.
I don't remember.
You're a music guy. How do you not? I'm
not a big Van Halen guy.
Ron, it was Hagar. Van Hagar was a kind of a
Van Hagar?
That's what Van Halen fans called it because it was the band Hagar came in after David Lee Roth left. David Lee Roth was like,
okay, so it was Roth and Hagar.
Yes.
Okay.
Van Hagar was like, they call that's the nickname called Van Hagar. Was it sort of
people didn't like it?
No. If you listen to Van Halen 1, their first album is fucking unreal. It's
so you know more about Van Halen than I do.
I know. How is this possible, Ron? How do I
said I'm not. I mean, I said at the beginning, I was like, I'm not a Van. I don't know much about Van Halen. I didn't know he played on Beat It. I didn't know that. I don't remember the Beat It guitar solo. Now I'm gonna have to go listen to it because I really want to hear it now. But the riff's badass, and that's him apparently.
This is insane. All right, I know more about something about music than you, Ron. This is an exciting moment.
Not a Van Halen guy. I mean, there's some, and that like a lot of that like 80s more mainstream.
Somebody wrote, "Damn, I'm an Iranian refugee," and I knew that.
Ron also thought the Sex Pistols were like the Monkees. They are, because the Sex Pistols were created, and so were the Monkees. That's just true. That doesn't mean they're not talented. I mentioned I don't enjoy the music of the Sex Pistols because I don't, but they are in many ways kind of the Monkees of punk rock. And no, Sparky, they did not invent it. We've had this debate before.
They're the Monkees of punk rock.
Yes, because they were invented. Like a manager basically invented them. It was kind of, and some people dig them anyway, which is fine. I've just always been more of a Clash guy. And, I think that if we really want to try to argue where punk rock started, you can trace it back to a little town called Detroit Motor City with a couple bands like the MC5 and a little band called Death. And, and Iggy.
Kate just said, "I'm never asking for a song again." Kate, look what you've done. Look what started now. There's this debate on the Monkees.
I'm happy. I learned something new today. I learned something new about Eddie Van Halen today. I never knew that.
When you guys were watching the VP debate, did you think we were going to have this discussion about different bands? I'll tell you what.
What we're talking about right now is infinitely more interesting than that debate they had. I
Yeah.
would say.
Absolutely. And watching two Republicans debate. Iggy and Stooges for the win.
Right?
Sparky just wrote, no one called it punk until Sex Pistols. This feels
So
like a
what,
long-going beef with you.
So Sparky, does a marketing executive get to determine what music is, or do people get to determine what music is? Just saying. You know, I mean, that's all I'm saying. I mean, the Sonics were punk rock. Who cares what it was called?
Right. Somebody's writing the Ramones. Sharif Song's like, I like the Clash is awesome, dude. The Clash is just
The Clash, Dead Kennedys that came a little later.
All right. They told me
Damned. Shout out to the Damned. I got to see them a couple years ago. They put on a hell of a show.
I don't know who they
All
are.
right. I'll stop. Everyone's putting stuff. Someone just gave a shout out to Gigi Allen. And they threw poop at their computer when they did it.
They told me Avril Lavigne started punk rock. That's what I thought.
Well, that is also a theory that I can get behind. In 2009, she did it. She got.
There's nothing more punk rock than hey you I don't like your girlfriend. Right? Isn't that
And
a punk
Skater Boy?
You was the skater boy. You was the later boy. That's so punk rock.
Could
So
you ask Jello Biafra to be on the show? I've been asking him for a while to be on Get Your News On with Ron, and a viewer also apparently is friends with him and emailed him. That's what they said. I don't know, but
Oh wow.
But yeah, he's never gotten back to me. I'm sure he's a busy guy. He did an interview with Greg Palast recently that was very interesting. They had a really cool interview, Jello and Greg. So
Nice.
I do recommend that. It's on the Alternative Tentacles YouTube channel. I feel like I need to regain some cred since I didn't know about Eddie Van Halen and Michael Jackson. I feel I'm hip to the Alternative Tentacles YouTube channel. Just saying. DC says Gigi Allen was the only punk rocker. He would agree with you. Gigi would agree with you. Although Gigi's no longer with us as well, but I bet he'd agree with you. And the Murder Junkies are still playing. I know that. Ron, you lived in Nashville. The answer is yes. I don't know what that means, but I did live in Nashville. So right on.
Jesus. Oh, Kate, if you ever ask for a music thing again, look what you've done. We can never do this again.
Regarding the fly on Pence's head in Nakamala's, even flies have their standards. That's not even said.
Nice.
Sparky said Ron was deeply offended by anarchy in the UK. Dude, I wasn't offended by it. I just didn't. I don't know. That album just didn't do a lot for me. I just thought it was kind of linear. I mean, I respect it for what it is, but I just always connected more with the Ramones or the Clash. It's just a personal preference. That's all.
Is that a Monkey
big Pistols guy? It's a Monkey song. They actually did. You know what? Ironically, the Sex Pistols did cover Stepping Stone, and I enjoyed their cover of it. But you know what? My favorite cover of Stepping Stone was done by another 80s hardcore band called Minor Threat. If anyone's ever heard of Minor Threat, one of the original DC hardcore bands, Ian MacKaye, founder of Discord Records, singer of that band, and their version of Stepping Stone is my favorite version ever of that song. And Sweet Lou, I enjoy Propagandhi a lot. Thank you for that. I like Propagandhi. Look what you started, Graham.
I started this. God damn it.
I don't know. I never look at the chat, but I'm looking at the chat now.
6875 Sync. Don't forget Richard Hell. I don't know who that is.
I'm actually not familiar either off the top of my head. Richard Hell. Oh, yes, about marketing execs determining music. Well, agree to disagree. I disagree with that. Rock and roll, the only reason we call rock and roll is because of Alan Freed. He was wanting to play music by black artists at a time where he couldn't really do that. And that was referred to as rhythm and beat. So he wanted to play these records. So he started calling it rock and roll. He's like, oh, no, it's not rhythm and beat. It's rock and roll. But it's like, well, it's all really just R&B. They just kind of made that up. You know? I mean, why should we let them determine the vocabulary of our music preferences? Oh, Richard Hell was in Suicide. Thank you for that, Kate. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Right on.
He was also in the CBGBs in the 70s. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, good political talk here, guys. This is fantastic.
Lucy's into it.
Lucy's totally into it.
Someone asked if I'm a Little Richard fan. Yes, I'm a big Little Richard fan.
All right. 535 likes, everybody. That is our show. Thank you so much. I'm not sure when I want to go live again. At least Sunday, maybe before then. I don't know. I took 3 days off the last 2 weeks, and it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It was kind of fucking great. Don't you have 3 days off a week, Ron, when you do your show?
Yeah, I typically I do the live stream Monday through Wednesday, and people are saying, "Oh, someone just gave a shout out to the Saints." Hell yeah, Bruce, right on. The Saints, Graham, you'll like this. They were one of the first Australian punk bands, and my friend Angie is like the biggest Saints fan I know, and I tracked down a Saints T-shirt for her at a really cool store in Minneapolis, Minnesota called Extreme Noise, one of my favorite record stores in the country. And I tracked down and said, all right, I should probably start. I'm sorry. I'm really, sorry. I'm like, they're saying a bunch of fun stuff about music in the chat. And I'm just like, I can't.
I about the Saints T-shirt. I
don't want to look away. It's like they're shouting out all in, right on.
Gil James Babel, TBH, rock and roll was a slave term for sex, to be honest. Rock and roll is a slave term for sex. Okay.
Really?
All right, Ron, where can people follow you online and talk about slave T-shirts?
You can follow me at the Saints T-shirt on Twitter. No, at Ron Placone on Twitter and youtube.com/Ron Placone. And again, I got that show at Flappers where I will physically be on stage, but it will be live streamed and you can watch it online. You can catch Lucy this weekend at CatCon. Lucy and Ron will be at CatCon, but you can also read that comic at lucyandron.com. But we'll be at CatCon this weekend. Gareth Reynolds from The Dollop will also be there with Jose. So we're both part of CatCon this weekend. You can learn more about that at CatCon Worldwide. And again, I got that show on October 24th. All the ticket revenue goes to the venue. RonPlacone.com, youtube.com/Ron Placone, Ron Placone on Patreon, Twitter at Ron Placone. You know the drill. By the way, the college roommates, we're going to find out about their 2020 preferences tomorrow. They're going to give their endorsements for their candidates. So Republican, Democrat, Green, Libertarian, and Ted. Who is Ted going to endorse? This cat's hungry.
Hungry cat, ladies and gentlemen.
For an hour. Don't fall for her antics. She knows it's not dinner time. She's trying to get you guys on her side, but her feeding time's 10:30. She knows. She knows.
Playing for the camera. That's what she does.
Yeah. She's like, oh, he doesn't feed me ever, except the same time he's been feeding me for years. She has an IU collar my mom got for her. That's my alma mater, Indiana University. My mom got her an IU collar.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you. Check out Ron's shows and all that. We're gonna wrap it up. Stop being fooled by Bernie. What are you guys talking about? All right. Oh, Lucy's out of control. I think she's singing Beat It.
She's like, how did you not know Eddie Van Halen was part of that? Unacceptable. Even I knew that, and I'm a cat.
Sammy Hagar didn't start Van Halen. Where have you been? Thank you to Kate, our moderator. Thanks for everybody for being in the chat, all the likes and all the super chatters. Really appreciate it. I'll be on Sunday at 3:00 Pacific for sure. If I go live again this week, I'll let you know on the Twitter. But there's a good chance I will be surfing. Thanks. It's always great to have her on here. I am
a Fugazi fan. I can't look away. I'm sorry.
Ron, I'm going to fucking murder you. Shut up. God damn it. I need to eat. But tell me about that time you saw Fugazi at some show at a thing, and then they bought a shirt.
I actually do have a Fugazi story. I'll save it for another time.
Oh, thank you so much. May you live to be 1,000. And I'm sure Ron and I will be doing another Zoom comedy show at some point. We'll figure that out. We'll might be through Flappers again, or might be doing it ourselves. I don't know. And if there is another presidential debate next week, if COVID hasn't wiped it out, we'll do that for sure. Thank you all so much. Shave your knuckles for justice, and you're all making Gotham great again.